Hi, my name is Katie Barnett, Independent Norwex Sales Consultant. I am a Senior Executive Sales Leader with Norwex, and I've been with the company since last July of 2017. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of break down what it is that makes this stuff work so well, because a lot of times people get a little too caught up in overthinking how it can be at all possible just to clean with water. And the truth of the matter is that it's really simple, but it makes a lot more sense when it's broken down a little bit more. So I'm going to do that for you right now. Little background on me: I was a high school teacher in sciences, and I went to grad school in education and basically just researched and learned how to do a lot of research. And then I had a lot of babies, and all of that kind of went. And Norwex fell into my lap because I was just trying to figure out a better way to clean my house, but also just my kitchen table. That was really what started it all. It's glass top, and I was cleaning it all the time with paper towels, loads of paper towels, tons of chemicals. And so I found Norwex, I found the basic package, and we don't buy paper towels anymore, and we're not using chemicals anymore. And so it really changed everything about how I clean, and I knew I was going to share it. So I jumped on board. I did a lot of research first, and it really just lived up to everything, and it continues to live up to everything. So I'm hoping that breaking this down for you a little bit is going to help it make sense in a new way. So first of all, there's 3 types of cleaning. There's thermal, chemical, and mechanical cleaning, all right? So thermal cleaning is going to be heat. It is going to melt oil to allow water to wash it away a little bit better. It allows, dirt to wash away better. We all know that when you turn the water on hot, we shower in hot because it makes us feel cleaner. We shower, because it's going to get rid of the oils. We wash our dishes in hot because it's going to make things melt, grease melt, and wash away with the water easier. Also, high heat is going to kill bacteria, and it's going to allow, when you're using soap, allow grease, dirt, everything to bind with that soap and be washed away a little bit easier. The next one is chemical, and chemical typically gets a negative connotation, but vinegar, baking soda, enzymes, which is what you'll find with Norwex, all fall into the chemical category. And sometimes, every once in a while, we get some smarty pants who's like, water is a chemical. And yes, water is a chemical, and so we get some flack for saying chemical-free cleaning, but it's water, So when we're talking about chemical-free cleaning, we're really talking about harsh chemicals. And so chemical cleaning is going to work in a number of different ways. It may eliminate dirt by bonding with it and carrying it away. Like I said, soaps are going to do that. And this is why you will hear people talking about kind of the question of antibacterial soaps. Is there really any need for antibacterial soaps when the purpose of soap is really just to bind with dirt on your hands or bond with it and carry it away? And so antibacterial soaps are really just contributing to this issue we have of resistant bacteria without really doing anything effective as far as washing our hands. Anyways, just a side note. It can break things down at a molecular level or kill germs through various forms of cell destruction. And so if they're killing and cell destruction on your surfaces, they can also do that within your body. So the thing is that for chemicals to be effective, like the number one selling point is of chemicals is that it's going to be easy. It's going to be super easy to clean your surfaces, right? So you just take a wipe, you clean, surface clean, super easy. But the problem is that in order for these chemicals to be effective, they have to be very toxic, powerful, and dangerous, right? So the chemicals that we're using to clean that are effective are not good for us, for our families, for our bodies. And so they can be effective at killing bacteria on your surfaces potentially, but they're toxic, and that's that's no good. And who wants that when you can clean with water, right? So I don't know if you know, but our hands, feet, face, they all absorb chemicals more readily than the rest of the skin on our bodies, and that's what we're using. We're walking on our floors that we're cleaning with ammonia. We're using our hands to clean everything, unless you're always putting gloves on, but I think most of us, when you're using the wipes and stuff, are just using our hands. And so our skin doesn't actually have a filtration system the way that our digestive tract does. So when we eat something, we have some protection in place that's going to filter out toxins and all of that. But when we come into contact with something through our skin, it actually has direct access to our organs because we don't have a filtration system in place. It only takes 26 seconds for a chemical to enter our system through our skin. And so it's important to be thinking about what we're coming in contact with, what our kids are coming into contact with, our pets, everybody, right? So chemicals, these strong chemicals, they don't readily biodegrade. And so they're going to stick around for a while, which means that unless you're washing it off after you're cleaning a surface all the time, you are coming into contact with it for a long time after it's even dried. So why not just skip that all and clean with water, right? Yeah. See where I'm going with this? And then lastly, again, the chemical cleaning is going to contribute to this issue of fostering the resistant bacteria. And then you require even harsher chemicals to kill those bacteria. So the last one is mechanical cleaning. And this is what we're talking about. So it's been around forever. It's rubbing your hands together. I remember in one of my microbiology classes, the teacher was like, or professor was like, if you're somewhere and they don't have soap, it's not that big of a deal. As long as you rub your hands really well underwater, especially if they have warm water, you're gonna get a pretty good clean. And so that's mechanical cleaning, folks. It's elbow grease, it's scrubbing, it's washboards, all of that are they're all forms of mechanical cleaning. And so with Norwex, we've just perfected it, really. You've probably heard this all before if you're not new to Norwex, but basically it has to do with the way that our cloths are constructed. Our EnviroCloth all of our cloths, our fibers are 1/200th the size of a human hair. For a microfiber to be considered a microfiber, it only has to be 1/6 the size of a human hair. So they're 1/200th, which is so small, microscopic, right? There's 10 million feet of that microfiber in one cloth, and so that just allows for this amazing capillary action to occur. There's so much teeny tiny microfiber that it's going to be capable of lifting and taking off up to 99% of all dirt, dust, bacteria, everything from a surface. And it's genius, it's amazing, and it works so well. If you've used it, it's like, how is this doing this better than anything else? And that is how they've just perfected it. So again, like our actual fibers are kind of like a star shape, and that allows for this awesome capillary action to pull dirt and grease from a surface and within the fibers, and it's going to give you an awesomely clean, sparkling surface. So the last thing that I want to talk about, that's how you're getting your surfaces cleaner than ever, okay? That's what's happening. It's just mechanical cleaning at its finest, basically. And it's awesome, it's amazing. You're never gonna have to use paper towels on your windows, mirrors, anything again. And if you're using the EnviroCloth already, you know that you can not just use it on your hard surfaces, but you can use it on clothing little spots, spots on your carpet, your couch, all that. It's awesome. So that's how it works. That's what it's doing. Now the microsilver I want to talk about for just a minute because it's important in that a lot of people think they feel so much relief when they're like, oh, the microsilver is what's killing everything. And they want that microsilver to be what's killing things on the surface. And that's not what's really happening. We don't need anything to kill anything on the surface because we're removing everything from the surface. And then it's in the cloth. So you're gonna rinse with warm water. That's gonna release the fibers a little bit, and we're gonna rinse away as much as we can. But then whatever is left in that cloth, the microsilver basically self-sanitizes the cloth, and it's gonna defend against any mildew, mold, fungi, and bacterial odor. And that's what it does. And so with any other cloth that you use, you're going to get a stinky smell after a day or so. And most likely that's gonna come back as soon as you use the cloth again. But with ours, as long as you're rinsing them with warm water, hanging them to dry in a well-ventilated area, that microsilver is gonna go to work. So microsilver has been used for thousands of years. Doctors and hospitals use it for wound dressings. It dates back, like I said, thousands of years. And so it's used to boost immune systems, prevent infection. A lot of times now it's used in burn units to prevent infection with burns. It's amazing. It's awesome. And so what it does is that the microsilver ions penetrate the cell membrane, and then they bind to essential cell components and like render them dysfunctional. Basically, they stop working, and then the bacteria will die because of that. So that it's not able to perform like basic cell functions, and so it dies, and then it's not going to reproduce, and a bacteria needs to reproduce in order to survive. So that's how it does it. It's super awesome and cool, like the coolest thing ever, right? And that's how it works. So the microsilver is just for the surface, it's for the purpose of self-sanitizing your cloth. And a lot of people will say, well, is that safe? Because I don't want any heavy metal exposure. Well, it's not considered a heavy metal one. It is absolutely EPA approved. It is healthy and safe. The molecules of microsilver they're actually too large to enter into your system, but our microsilver is added during the liquid form of a fiber manufacturing process, and so it's a part of our fibers. The best way to describe that is when you take coffee and you pour your creamer in and you mix it, it's one now. This is your coffee. If you do not like it, then you're gonna have to get new coffee because you can't take the creamer out. You can't do much else, right? So it's all one. There's not like silver woven into your cloth that can scratch anything. You don't have to worry about that. It's within the fibers, and that is not going to, I don't know where I was going with that. It is safe. It's absolutely safe. So like I said, no leaching or scratching. Now, over the lifetime of the cloth, people will say, well, there's going to be breakdown, and we have to worry about that, and it's going to go out into the environment. First of all, the microsilver is the closest thing that you're going to find to what is in the environment, is naturally occurring. And over time, it may gradually break down a tiny amount. And I want to explain that to you, though, because first of all, our cloths only have to be washed every 7 to 10 days or so, right? We all know this if you're using them, which means that you're gonna have a lot less breakdown than with any other type of microfiber. Also, they're just made so quality that they're not gonna be breaking down. And you notice that when you dry them and you don't have any lint in your lint trap, right? So they're not breaking down very much at all. And so over the lifetime of a cloth, which can be 2 years, which is what the warranty is for, which is amazing. But most people are experiencing that they're going to last for way longer than that, right? We know that they're good for over 500 washes, or at least 500 washes, I'm sorry. And so over the lifetime of the cloth, which for most people it's going to be 5 to 7 years, some people even longer, less than 1 milligram of that microsilver is going to wash away. And that's a small amount. It sounds like a small amount, but to break it down, basically we ingest more than 1 milligram monthly just through our water consumption and food consumption. So there is, that's the best comparison, okay? So over the lifetime of the cloth, less than 1 milligram, which is less than what we're ingesting of microsilver in a month. So a very teeny tiny amount, and even so, it is absolutely safe to have in our environment and around us. So hopefully that explains some things. I would love to answer any questions. I'm sure the consultant who shared this with you would love to answer any questions, but that's it. That's the basics, and that's like, I think it's really fun and exciting to be able to understand this stuff a little bit better and know that you are absolutely cleaning your surfaces and just how amazing and quality these products are. So thank you so much for checking this video out, and I'll see you around, I'm sure.